Hi everyone, it's Maria, and today I'm doing the I Dare You book tag. I was not tagged as far as I know, and I'm not going to tag anybody. If you want to do it, that's fine. You can do it. You can figure it out for yourself. So that said, I will go ahead and start. I guess the only rule is to answer honestly and all the questions, which I always do anyway. So it kind of makes me want to break all the rules and answer completely dishonestly, but I'm not going to do that because that wouldn't be fun. All right. The first question is, what book has been on your shelf the longest? Now, I probably have several books in my house that have been with me since I was literally an infant. Several of them are probably in my toddler's room, and she's sleeping right now, so I'm not going to wake that beast. So I went and looked on my shelf, and I was pretty sure I had this one since birth. And it's the Peter Rabbit Giant Treasury. And I will say, I almost cried when I picked it up to check, because on the inside cover, in my grandma's handwriting, is my name, although she misspelled my middle name. She always thought Christina had an H in it, and mine doesn't. So, with my birth year, and I just like seeing her handwriting. She's the one I used as the inspiration for the reader role model book tag on my channel. If you look at that, she was a great reader, and I'm pretty sure she gave this to my mom at my baby shower. So, yeah, my grandma, I love her. Second question, what is your current read, your last read, and your next read? Oh, so my last read, I actually took a break because Tome Toplathon, I declared all of April reading Big Books Month, which is really hard for me. I've learned a lot about myself reading this month because big books are hard for me. Apparently I get bored. I don't get bored, I just like variety. Because I'm not bored, I'm liking all my books. I just like variety. Anyway, I needed a break from a big book, so I just picked up this one. And it's The Perfect Comeback of Caroline Jacobs by Matthew Dix. I had heard Ink and Paper talk about on his channel, Matthew Dix, and then I heard an interview with Matthew Dix, and I listened to his podcast, Boy vs. Girl. I really enjoy him. So I was like, why have I not picked up any of his books? So I went to the library and grabbed one. And this was a really good book, actually. It was fun. I'll talk about my wrap-up. Yeah, it's like a mother-daughter coming to terms with your past and trying to empower yourself for the future book. So it was really a fun, quick read. I needed a break. That was my last read. My current reads are these. So, seriously, guys, this is insane. Van Gogh, The Life, which is 984 pages. And it's really good, and it's got beautiful art in it, and Van Gogh. Then, I've got this one, which I don't like putting down either. Ken Follett's Fall of Giants, the First in the Century trilogy. This one's like 980 something pages. And really, really great narrative. I am falling hard for Ken Follett. And we'll be reading like all the books I can get on of his too, because wow. Anyway, but yeah, again, brick. This one has slightly less, 584 pages, is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And I'm also enjoying this one. This one's a reread for me, but it's been forever. And I mean, I remember the basic plot line, but not like all the nuance of it. And I'm really enjoying this one. This is my take in my purse bag, and it's John Steinbeck's Travel with Charlie. It's been in my purse for forever, but I like to keep a small paperback in there. So I will probably finish this one within the month, I would guess, but depends on what appointments I have. So that's my current reading stack. Now I have so many queued up to read, like so many of my library holds came in, and I'm drowning in like books that I want to read, and of course I can't because I have other stuff going on too. This one's a 14-day loan, so I'm really hoping I can get to it. It's Vincent and Theo, the Van Gogh brothers, and it's a novel based on a lot of good research. And the cover, I mean, I might buy this for myself. It's a library copy right now, but so that one. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. And this one, I've heard nothing but good things about. I don't even remember. I heard about it before it was out, and I just knew I had to read it again. I haven't gotten to that one either because Tome Toplathon. this one technically does count as a tome, but I wanted to savor it because I know this one might be my new favorite book because I've heard things about it, and it's John Steinbeck, and everybody says it's even better than Grapes of Wrath, which is going to be hard. I know, like, okay, so if you like books, you probably have seen like a lot of t-shirts with book quotes on them and things like that. Anyway, because I've been in my Steinbeck like hole of love and affection, I have been like Googling different shirts that have John Steinbeck quotes or art, things like that. And I know the "now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good" quote is going to be like my favorite quote, but I don't feel like I can technically say it's my favorite quote yet because I haven't read the book that it's out of. And so I know that I need to read this. I am so mad that I haven't gotten to get to it yet because all the feelings about John Steinbeck. I might have problems, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm a little loopy. Anyway, so that's the second question. The third question, what book did you hate that others liked? And I'm going to say two. The first one was My Antonia, which I read. It's by Willa Cather. I actually had to read it twice. I read it once in school for academic decathlon, and I read it once for book club. I might have hated it slightly less the second time, but mainly because other people were telling me why they liked it, and I was glad that they liked it. I really didn't want to hear about what color the grass was anymore. I was just done. So I'm never reading Willa Cather, as much as I can appreciate that she's an important American woman author. My Antonia, no. And then The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. My mom really liked it. I know a lot of other people like loved that book, but I wanted to love it because Dracula I love, but yeah, The Historian did not do it for me. Number 4, what book do you keep saying that you'll read, but you most likely won't? Now, the funny thing is, while I was going to answer this question, I was looking at my shelves, I was thinking about this, but I'm the kind of person, if you say, oh, I'm not going to do that, then it's the next thing I do want to do. And so I really had to struggle to think about which book have I said that I want to read at some point, but I know it's not going to happen. Now, my husband, he was an overachiever in college, and he majored in computer science, math, Bible, and religion. So we have a lot of religion and Bible books, like commentaries and I don't know, so many books. And he won't part with them. And at one point I was like, I really want to know more about how that became a part of doctrine and theology. And so like I thought about reading this Dictionary of Early Christian Beliefs at one point, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. Like, no, I have other books I'm going to get to. So I think that is a safe bet to say I'm not going to flip and change my mind about. Number 5, which book are you saving for retirement? I think about death all the time. I am not naive to think that anybody might live to retirement. I mean, yes, obviously some people live to retirement. I hope to. But if there's a book that I really want to get to and I think I'll enjoy, I'm not going to wait on it because you just don't ever know. Hopefully that wasn't too morbid. Number 6, the last page. Do you read the last page first or wait till the end? Like, no, you don't read the last page first. I don't think I've done that. The only time I might skip ahead on any pages, and it's not to the last page, but if it's a book that I'm pretty sure that I'm going to DNF, I might skip ahead a little bit just to see if a couple pages in the next couple chapters might catch me. And if they don't, which I don't think they ever have, convinced me to go back. And so, yeah. Number 7, Acknowledgement, waste of paper or not. And I am going to say, no, I actually love reading acknowledgements. And I have been in an acknowledgement. I have 2 authors in the family. My father-in-law has written some books and published them, as well as my aunt. And so this is my father-in-law's The Very Small Church Revival Guide and Stories of a Recovering Fundamentalist, Understanding and Responding to Christian Absolutism, James C. Alexander, if you are wanting to. This one's actually, I really enjoyed this one a lot. But this it's before we got married, and he put me in the acknowledgements of looking forward to having Miss Maria in my last name in the family. So that was kind of nice. So, and he said some really nice glowing things about my husband, which were all true, really, for the most part, I think. Number 7. Oh no, that's number 7. Number 8. Which book character would you switch places with? And that one, I read a lot of like books where hard things happen, and so there are a lot of books that I don't want to switch places with, but if I had to, Anne, I mean, I always probably imagine that I switch places with her several times anyway, so might as well make it official in a book tag. Number 9, a book that reminds you of a specific time or place. And for this one, where did I have it? Oh, here it is. 1984 by George Orwell, which I actually just reread. But this one will always remind me of being at our residential high school we went to. My senior year, we took a utopian dystopian literature class, and we must have read this around, well, we did. We read this around Valentine's Day. And one of our assignments was that we had to pick one of the utopias, dystopias that we read about and make a Valentine for one of our classmates that related to that. And it was the best Valentine I've ever gotten in my life. And it was just a little cutout heart from my friend Seal, was his nickname. And it said, "Roses are red, violets are blue, Big Brother is watching you, and so am I." It just... Yep. So this will always remind me of Valentine's Day because of that. So, number 10, which book have you acquired in an interesting way? And I was trying to think about this, and I think this stack, which I actually have on my mantle all the time, they're really great vintage books. Atlas Shrugged, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and Vanity Fair. I have not read any of these books. I really want to. I don't know if I'm going to read these copies because I'm scared of them breaking apart. But my great aunt actually loved going garage sailing, and she knew I loved books. And so when they were kind of going through downsizing before she passed, she gave me these along with several other really old books. And I finally cut down to just these ones. But she was pretty great too. They had a great library. Yeah. So... yeah, I haven't read any of them yet, but I want to. Yeah, it's all emotional tag, apparently. Number 11, have you given a book away for a special reason to a special person? Well, yeah. Do you give books or give things other than books away? No. No, I do a little bit. This one is the most special book that I've given in the house, and it's just a really cool classic edition of The Brothers Karamazov. It is my husband's favorite, and I ordered it for him for our wedding. We actually had a book-themed wedding. So my mom and I made these programs that told our story, because I always hate like boring things to look at when you're sitting there waiting for the wedding to start. So we made like this little storybook about our like who was in our wedding party and how we'd met and all those things we liked about each other. We had brochures out that my father-in-law had written at the reception of how to care for your Maria and how to care for your Aaron, which were just really fun things. We named all of the tables after our favorite authors and had stacks of books on them. We gave out bookmarks as wedding favors. So anyway, I thought it was appropriate to give him a book for our wedding, and it hadn't actually come in the mail yet. So I actually went out to like the only store that was open 24 hours and got him some tennis balls as like a stand-in gift, because this one hadn't come in the mail yet. But yeah, it's just really pretty. It's got like really pretty end papers, and yeah, so for my wedding I gave my husband this. That's pretty special person and special reason. Number 12, which book has been with you the most places? Now this one racked my brain for a long time trying to come up with, and I think other than books that I've moved around since childhood, it would be my journaling Bible, because I take it with me to church. I do art in it. Let's see if I can find a good page. There's Yeah, I paint in my Bible every week, pretty much. If I've gone on retreats, it's my little girl. Then I've put stuff in there from there. So this is probably the thing that has gone the most places with me. That's a book. Is my, journaling Bible. Number 13, any required high school reading that you liked later on that you didn't like, but then liked later on? No, if I didn't like it then, and I tried My Antonia later on and still didn't like it. So no. Number 14, used or brand new. Honestly, I don't think it matters as long as I like the cover, if I'm honest. So with John Steinbeck, I have limited myself to only getting used because I feel like that's a necessity with John Steinbeck. But other than that, it depends on what the cover looks like. Shallow, right? Number 15, have you ever read a Dan Brown book? Yes, I read Da Vinci Code. It was okay, and that was it. That's what I've read of his. Number 16, a movie you liked better than the book. Now, I do prefer Pride and Prejudice, either of the movie versions, to the book. Also, Julie and Julia. Now, this one's kind of a double, it's tricky because it's based off of My Life in France and Julie and Julia. I love My Life in France. I did not like the book Julie and Julia, and I love this movie. Also, I thought that Princess Bride, the movie, was better than Princess Bride, the book. But I do like the cover, and I kept the book because I think my boys might like reading the sword stuff later on. It is funny. It's just this one was better, I thought. Yeah. Number 17, have you ever read a book that made you hungry? Yes. I'm always hungry anyway. I love looking through cookbooks. Kitchens of the Great Midwest by J. Ryan Strauss, I think. That has a recipe at the end of each chapter, and I thought it was a great book. Also, any of Kathleen Flynn's books. She did the Kitchen Cooking School, and she also did Knife Sharper, the Sharper Your Knife, the something. I don't know. It's about her being at the Culinary Institute in France. And then the other book more recently that I read, I listened to, Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Yeah, she talks about cinnamon rolls so many times in that book. It was all I wanted to eat was cinnamon rolls. Number 18, is there a person whose book advice you always take? Now this will seem kind of funny because he will watch this and say that that's not even true. But my husband, if he says that I will like a book, I will trust that I will like it. I might not get to it for 1 to 10 years, but I trust that he is probably right. I will like it if I read it. Same thing with wine and beer. I ask him ahead of time if I'm going to like it, and he's generally right. He knows my taste pretty well. Number 19, is there a book out of your comfort zone that you loved? Yeah, Girl with All the Gifts. I don't like zombies, but that book was really good, so I will go ahead and say that. This tag video is already way longer than I expected it to be, so if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. Discuss in the comments, because I love the comments. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. I will talk to you later. Bye.